Hi, Karen Curry Parker here with your weekly Human Design Evolution Report. I am outside in the beautiful Pacific Northwest in Washington State visiting some of my children and getting ready to do a live presentation at Unity Olympia tomorrow night. I'm going to be talking about quantum creativity and how to unleash your natural creative capacity. So if you want to join me, I'll post the link below, and you can watch live via live stream if you're not here live in Olympia. And if you're not, I'm sorry that you're not, because it's beautiful here. And the weather is amazing, and it's springtime, and it gives me a good segue into our conversation for today about what's up on the planet this week. We are literally in the springtime of the creative cycle of the human design year, and that means we are putting seeds in and preparing the soil and laying the foundation. And the energies right now, especially because we're in a Mercury retrograde cycle, which is kind of like seeding in a way, in that it's sort of an inward cycle. It's a cycle where we're creating in the dark and the depths of our own inner consciousness, and we're looking inward. But it's a weird Mercury cycle, and it's a weird sort of springtime cycle because it has sort of an initiating quality to it, which of course we normally associate with spring. But Mercury retrograde is also kind of a backward, sort of slow moving, push me, pull you quality of energy. And so there's a lot of start and stop. There's a lot of momentum and pulling back. There's a lot of feeling like you're stuck in the cosmic goo right now. And it's a really important energy to understand, because if you're pushing against that energy, if you're trying to control it, which is one of the themes that we're playing with this week, the sun is in the 21st hexagram, moving into the 51st hexagram at the end of the week. So we are in this energy cycle where we're wanting to be in charge. We want to control everything. We want to be the ones who initiate, who start. But all of these energies come from the will center, the energy center that's associated with the ego, the personal self, but also the energy center that's associated with power that comes from amplified, exponentially greater power that comes from relaxing and surrendering and trusting that when we stop exerting our personal will, trying to override the circumstances, trying to, here, and when I'm in Minnesota, it's snowing. We have more than 10 inches of snow. I'm not there, thank God. But when you're trying to control the weather, for example, instead of staying in a place of acceptance and allowance and working with what is, when you're fighting against instead of aligning with what's working, which is our theme for this week, and we played with this theme last week, then you run the risk of ultimately A, overriding divine order and missing the boat, B, burning yourself out, and C, ultimately serving yourself and your own personal agenda instead of looking at where does your unique being, who you are, serve in the greater cosmic plan. So the question for this week is, what do you need to do to A, deepen your trust of spirit as source? What do you need to do to acknowledge and own and accept and allow and celebrate the unique role that you play in the cosmic order of things? And where do you perhaps need to relax and release and surrender control so that you can let things grow and unfold naturally, and to trust that when you let go and you let things unfold naturally, you actually have everything you need and more, including the resources, the connections, the powers, everything that you need to be able to grow that seed of the idea, that seed of what you're manifesting, that seed of potential into the blossoming flower and ultimately the fruit of what you're creating over the course of this year. So I really want to invite you this week into asking yourself, what do you need to let go of? What do you need to surrender to? Our earth energies this week are playing out the same theme, not by coincidence. We have the earth in the 48 moving to the 57. These are both splenic energies, energies associated with the center that's about right timing. It's about right timing when all the resources and pieces that are necessary for fruition come into place. So we are looking at the sun that wants to override right timing, the spleen that's holding us back. The trick here again is to surrender, not get paralyzed in fear, to trust that you have a tether, you have a connection to an infinite amount of wisdom and resources and possibilities. And that when you, again, drop into your own awareness, drop into yourself, get quiet this week, sit in the stillness and listen to the truth of the wisdom that you have. Trust in the timing, because if you're pushing through timing that's not correct, if you're pushing through timing that's causing you to have to exert tremendous amounts of effort to force what you want to create into being, you will ultimately deplete yourself and you won't be sustainable. And that lack of sustainability will not only deplete yourself and your own resources and your own energy, it will actually decrease what you have available to give to others. So, bottom line this week, pause. Pause. Take a breath, connect with yourself, trust, and get right with your relationship with Spirit as source and with the cosmic plan. On a more personal note, be aware that this week you may find that things are a little surprising, potentially shocking, and that people around you are going to all want to be in charge and want to try to control things. Recognize that this is the energy of the planets at play. It's not personal. Don't take it personally. When you encounter those energies, recognize that this is what's happening to wake us up. We are in a cycle of awakening. It's like thunder, right? When thunder goes off, we pause. Sometimes, we're waiting to see what's next. We're woken up to the surprise of the celestial or the weather event. We're in a cycle of being somewhat surprised, somewhat awakened, and ultimately allowing ourselves to be led to where we need to be to fulfill our place in the cosmic plan. So, have a good week. Take care of yourselves this week. Pace yourselves this week. Take some quiet time, really breathe, get aligned, find what's working, hold true to that, trust in timing, trust in yourself. It'll all be clear as we keep moving forward, and I promise you the timing will be right, even if it's not this week exactly. Have a great week.